We'll just wait for Director Fall to come back. If our audio is good.
Yes.
There he is. He's just
munching away.
Trying to stuff some calories in me before we go carry on.
Recording in progress.
Make sure I have the right agenda.
Thank you.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Michelle Joern, Acting Chief Administrative Officer for Cathy Regional District, and I'm going to call this November 12th, 2025 board meeting to order. We'd like to acknowledge that we are gathering on the traditional territory of the Tla'amin Nation. And as this is our first meeting in November, the first order of business will be election of the chair. So I will call upon these members to for nominations for the position of chair for the first time right now.
I'll nominate Director Brander.
Director Fall nominates Director Brander. Do you accept this nomination?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I will call a second time for nominations for the position of chair. Director Elliott.
I would like to nominate Director Southcott.
Director
I didn't ask him about this ahead of time, so he's surprised.
Yeah. Oh.
I have no problem with Dr. First. Director Banner, I just have an actual vote.
Right.
Director Southcott, you've been nominated for position of chair. Do you accept this nomination?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay.
Respectfully.
Respectfully declining.
Respectfully declining. I will call a third and final time for nominations for the position of chair.
Fine, then I'll nominate Director Elliott.
Director Elliott, you've been nominated for position of chair. You accept the nomination. So we have two nominations for position of chair, Director Brander and Director Elliott. You guys will both have the opportunity to address the assembly and advocate for your position for the position of chair. Sorry. Director Elliott.
Thank you, Dr. Brent. I think Director Banner's been doing an excellent job. I would be honored to provide chair services for our regional board. I believe that we could increase relationships between the city and the regional board if we had a chair that was linked to both. In many regions, mayors or somebody from a city does chair a regional board. And so we would have that opportunity to have a chair that is also plugged into the city should I be elected. And I would do my very best for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Elliott. Director Brander.
Okay, thank you. I think you all know what I've done for the last 3 years. I've really made great efforts to bring the board together as a team and to work together with staff. I've spent a lot of time fostering good relationships in the community, and I still believe that given our circumstances here, we're just one municipality and the electoral areas, I think it does benefit us to have a chair who is a representative of an electoral area. So hope you'll support me.
Great, thank you. I will pass out ballots and pens. You will mark your vote, and then we will circulate with container for you to place them in.
Those are cookies.
And then if you're participating electronically, we will follow the same process that we followed in other years. And I will do that now.
So I just send you an email. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I did think those were cookies too originally, so
I actually asked before the meeting if they were not cookies.
Oh,
Not used yet, so they have
hold it in
on them.
Oh, my aunt used to make like these handmade chocolates and cookies. Like, yeah, as soon as they would arrive, it'd be like, we Christmas wrapper. I'm like, we just open it, please.
Pull that off. If you use the pen I've provided, it will be identifiable. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, can I ask for your assistance? Can you, bring the cookie jar around?
It was the 9 bars. It was the main. It never last.
Who stole the balance
From the cookie.
Yeah.
Do I have everybody's here? Paper? Yeah, okay. We'll just mute for a moment. We'll stat counts.
Okay.
And
You should have my ballot in the mail.
thank you, everybody. With a vote of 5-2, Director Brander is awarded position of chair.
Thank you very much.
Before I hand over,
They be destroyed.
would the board like to entertain a motion to destroy the ballots?
Yes.
Okay, so first and seconded. All in favor, or would anybody like to debate this? No, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. I will destroy the ballots. We actually have another item of business before, and would the chair like to handle election of vice chair? I will hand it over. Yep.
Okay.
Is this different than before?
Yes.
Yes. So once the chair has taken a seat, I'll ask to provide some advice first.
It's contained in the staff report of the regional health district.
Yep, rotated.
Right.
Any more?
Yeah, I'll move that over, yeah. We might want.
Even though we haven't changed our procedure bylaw, the legislation doesn't allow us to do what we've been doing.
Okay, yeah, do you want to, corporate officer, do you want to say a few comments about the process we're going through now and how it has differed from the past?
Yes, thank you so much, Chair, for that opportunity. At the Regional Hospital Board, we considered the procedure bylaw where we explored a change to the vice chair. And through that, we our procedure bylaw allows for a rotation of vice chair. However, when we did initial investigations, Section 215 of the Local Government Act indicates that at the first meeting held after November 1st each year, the board must elect a vice chair. And so at this point, it would be advised to follow that practice or seek a legal opinion into maintaining past practice.
Okay, thanks very much. I don't think anybody has any problems with that. I want to just say thank you very much for your continued support for the position of chair. So we are up to item number 3.1, election of the vice chair. I'll call first time. Do we have any nominations? I see Director Fall, and then I have, it was Director Southcott and Director Gisborne. So Director
I'd
Fall.
like to nominate Director McCormick if she's willing to accept.
Director McCormick, are you willing to accept?
Yes.
She is willing to accept. And Director Southcott, saw your hand
I'd
up.
like to nominate Director Elliott.
Director Elliott, do you accept? Okay. And Director Gisborne.
I was gonna nominate Director Southcott, but this might get confusing with 3.
Does that mean you are nominating Director Southcott, or you just were going to?
Sure, I'll nominate Director Southcott.
Director Southcott, you accept
I
it?
respectfully decline.
Okay, so after one round, we have Directors McCormick and Elliott have been nominated for a second time. Are there any additional nominations? For a third time, are there any additional nominations? Okay, so we have Directors McCormick and Elliott on the ballot. Again, we will pass around some pieces of paper.
First, or is that not how we do it this way?
Oh, yeah.
Provide them an opportunity to.
Sure,
speak.
yeah, why not? Who would like to go first? Any preference?
Alphabetical.
Okay, Director Elliott.
Thank you, Director. Dr. McCormick does already chair our committee of the whole, and she does an amazing job, and I enjoy that committee very, very much. The things I could bring to the table as your vice chair is I am a dedicated person. It would create a mix of between the chair and vice chair of city and area representation and provide some balance in that equation. I'm available here without having to take a ferry to step in if I need to, and in occurrences where that might happen. I think the vice chair actually has duties through the hospital district to attend some committees. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case or whether we do a different vice chair over at the hospital committee or how that works. But it might be easier for me to do that from this location. So once again, I would make myself available to be your vice chair and available at any time that I am needed and work at my hardest on behalf of the entire region to bring us all closer together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Director McCormick, you have a few comments?
Thank you. I've been on this board. This is now going into my 12th year. And I've learned stuff along the way. And so I would appreciate an opportunity to share some of that learning with the broader board. I treat everybody respectfully and politely, including our delegations, including when we've had battles at Committee of the Whole where we disagree on things. We've been able to get through that politely and considerately. So that is the way I would handle any chairing duties. I would not attempt to step on Director Brander's toes. I think he's doing an excellent job, and I'm very respectful of that. But if there's some way I can help, I would believe that I could offer something to this group that is based on experience and knowledge and respect. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much. You all have a ballot, so you can take. You not yet? Oh, okay. I have a ballot.
Okay.
And I am here.
Thank you.
And
1 year till the next election, yes.
1 year.
Less than that,
Isn't that?
Yeah.
in October. Silly season.
Right, or
Yeah.
Worse.
it's one of the reasons a lot of farmers run. You got a campaign in September when you're doing the harvest. next week.
Here, would you like me to count first and you to count second, or you to count first?
Well,
Oh, I can't hear anything.
all right.
Now we
He doesn't know what we're.
I moved that we destroy the ballot. Second.
Okay, can I know who won?
Director
Oh, he
McCormick,
doesn't-
in a vote of 4-3, was chosen as the vice chair.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I saw hands going up and I thought something's going on.
Something's happening.
Okay, so moving on to item 4, approval of the agenda. I don't believe there are any changes to the agenda, are there, corporate officer?
So.
I don't believe there's any changes
Okay.
to the
Somebody
agenda.
like to move acceptance of the agenda, Director McCormick, seconded by Director Lennox, all in favor? None opposed, motion carries. After the minutes of the October 22nd, 2025 regular board meeting, any errors or omissions? No hands, would somebody like to move them? Moved. Director Gisborne, Director Southcott, all in favor? Unanimous. Unfinished business, item 7.1. Northside Volunteer Fire Service, Director Lennox.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. And I know we've had to kind of postpone this pending our other discussions, and I do appreciate all that work that we went through around community works funds and everybody's reasonableness around that. Basically, I'm coming back to option 2 for obvious reasons. We've got a shortcoming to purchase this fire engine. It's a nice one. It's out there in service in the area, and the department's using it already, and it's much needed, so that'll serve us for a long time to come. But we need to pay for it. There was some overages if you read the report. I totally understand the historical, record keeping of Area A has been a significant beneficiary of community works funds. I wasn't a big part of that, doesn't really matter, but going forward, I want to stick to the same principles that we've agreed on equity and all that. But right now, as the director mentioned earlier today, I'm going to try to take care of something now today while we have some funds available. In this case, it's 150,000 from community works funds, and then there's some other a budget amendment that we need to do for stat reserve as well. So obviously, if this doesn't pass, if the other directors,
Just, maybe we need a seconder, you do.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Thank you,
we had
Hey,
that.
Director Gisborne, no.
I'm sorry.
You want to
Chair.
continue your?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I thought we had that. I was just extrapolating. So basically, obviously, I'm prepared for option, whatever the other option in the package here, if it comes to that. But I think it is an appropriate use of the funds.
Okay, any other discussion? Director Gisborne and then Director Fall.
Yeah, this kind of gives me pause because, we've got our new policy coming up for community works funds. So I guess this is the last one that gets in under our old policy. Our new policy, it should go before a committee of the electoral areas to decide. I know Area A has had a lot of funding over the years. But I know when you say but, everything else before it kind of gets disappeared. If we go forward with this, I hope Area A knows that it's going to be quite some time before I think the rest of us are comfortable sending some community works funds back into Area A. So is there anything else that Area A needs more than this over the next 5-10 years that they can think of? Otherwise, after this, I'm sure Area B and Area C are going to need a fair bit of chunk of change, and Texada Island as well. And so I guess this is like your last, I'm a pig farmer, last turn at the trough. So I'm okay with it, but I'll keep this in mind when we start looking at other projects. That's kind of my thoughts.
Director Fall and then Director Elliott.
Thank you, Chair. I'd just like to say I'm quite happy supporting this. It's actually, other than not going to this, new extra committee, it's consistent with our policy, and it will fall under it because of the way the policy works, because it's talking about funding agreements. So if just to review where and why would I support it? Well, when you look at how that policy works, if we adopt it later this meeting, it would basically mean the amount we have in the Community Works Fund, the aspirational target starting at the beginning of the new agreement would be 0 for Area A, likewise for Area E, as we've talked about. But the amount of aspirational target every year that would be provided to Area A is about $75,000 per year. And Ms. Greenan can verify that if anyone wants, but I think it's about that, that would mean it's 2 years to cover this amount. Now, that said, we've already committed to $25,000 this year for something and $40,000 for something else in Area A. Area A has a lot of needs. So in other words, it would create an aspirational deficit, not a real deficit. The fact that we keep our funds pooled allows us to do this rather than partitioning, so that gives us the flexibility. But the equity is made up by the fact that we would track this equity imbalance, and it would be, there would be a negative gap between the target and the aspirational target. And what that would mean is if another project came up from Area A within the next year or two, we might consider that. It doesn't mean it wouldn't be considered, and it doesn't mean we wouldn't even do it. It just means we would consider that and say, well, but because of the way the policy works, it doesn't bring us below the 50% of the targets for all the other areas. It doesn't bring, it does create a gap for Area A, but we're starting fresh. That would be the 2 projects we've committed to plus this one under the current agreement. And within, and basically it would mean by around 2027, the aspirational target would be in the positive again, and it would be fine. So I think, and in addition, one of the changes to the policy is targeting safety equipment. And I think this fits exactly in line. In my view, fire department spending, expenses, capital is, to me, one of the #1 things we can do with CWF, because the expenses are high and they're relatively frequent. So I think this is appropriate. So I'm going to support this. Thank you.
Okay, Director Elliott.
Well, thank you, Chair. I think the main thing to consider is the alternatives that you might do with the money if you didn't do it this way. So if you did borrow, it would be the entire service area for the fire service area that would pay that loan back. If you used it, say, for water in Lund for that project coming up, instead, the service area is smaller. It's really expensive for people there, less likely for them to be able to afford that. And so I think you need to kind of balance your objectives over the next few years, and whether that's wise to take your spending power and put it towards something that may be able to afford to be paid back through loans versus another project that may not be able to afford to pay it back through loans. And so, and if there's a project elsewhere that needed those funds that can't be approved because they're spent already, and I don't know if that's the case, like, do we need fire trucks somewhere else? And those community works funds, and then they have to wait or they have to borrow, then it's a different area paying back a loan because the money that should have went there is already gone. And so those are all thoughts I had to think about. Is that the best use of those community works funds with the priorities in the region and the time frame we have to deal with various things? That's all my only comment. I'm in favor of supporting this if everybody else is. I just wanted to make sure everybody had given that lots of thought, because I do know there are some pretty big ticket items out there that might need some help.
Okay, thank you very much. Seeing no other hands, I'll call the question. All in favor? None opposed. Motion carries. Moving on to
I just wanted to make sure that you guys understood that the item from finance was going to be added to 10.12 when you adopted the agenda. Like, we've just added that to today's meeting.
Which one?
Do a refresh and it pops up or?
You won't see it because we just moved it at the finance committee at the last item of business to apply for the grant.
Oh,
Yeah, watershed security fund
Right.
grant.
thank you for that.
So that's 10.12. I don't know if we did move to put it there, but I wasn't sure if you guys understood that it was under the consent agenda.
Okay. So moving on to correspondence, there are 8 items here. Before anybody starts pulling things out, please recognize that 8.1, 8.2, and 8.8 are already moved to the business coming from correspondence. So does anybody have any other items they want to pull from the correspondence?
10.9.
You mean 8?
10.9.
Oh, sorry, never mind. That's correspondence.
Yeah, I've heard that.
You said
Excuse
one,
me.
what did you say? 8.1 and
8.1, 8.2, and 8.8 are already under business arising from correspondence. So Director Fall, did you have your hand up?
8.4, I have a couple comments briefly.
Okay, so 8.4 is moved. So other than that, now we'll move on to business arising. So 9.1 regarding community forest expansion. How we wish to move on.
So moved.
Okay, Director Gisborne moves it. Director Lennox seconds it. Any discussion? Director Gisborne?
Yeah, I believe they said that, they mentioned that we had a meeting over at City Hall where I got up to speed on some of the things that they're looking for to kind of expand their area. I just want to say I'm in complete support of what they're doing in Area B, and I'm also in support of, having the electoral areas participate in community service at community forest at some point in the future. And I just wanted to say that publicly, that I'm a deep supporter of what they're doing. I know the regional district missed out on an opportunity in the past, but I guess I can only blame the previous director of Area B, which was my dad, so I can blame him. But kids aren't like their father, so I'm a huge supporter of it, and maybe it's something that we can discuss when we start talking about the social planning service review of how can the electoral areas participate. So keep up the good work, Community Forest. Happy to support the letter, and motion that supports the letter, that supports what they're doing. Thanks, Chair.
Okay, we'll move on. No other hand. Director Elliott?
So I'm the city's representative on the community forest, and I just wanted to provide additional information for your information. I'm also in support of the letter of support. So where they're at with their application for expansion of the community forest is they have chosen areas that they think will work. They've done the deposit and have some agreement with Interfor to buy up some AAC from Interfor, but it's all dependent on whether the Minister of Forest would do an order in council to expand our community forest and use areas that are closer to our community interface rather than the Interfor area, which is Butte Inlet. And so the process would then be to complete their sort of social interface community scan and submit that with their application to the Minister of the Forests. And hopefully the Minister of Forests would support the areas, and they would be consulting probably with their own Ministry Timber Sales and other folks who are operating in those areas, including the Klamath Nation, which seem to be so far not having issues. They're in the loop. And so potentially we would acquire areas that are of high importance to our community, and some of those areas are for purposes of protection, not necessarily forestry. And so we'll hear more as that rolls out. And that's the information I have for now.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no, Director Southcott.
Yeah, I just wanted to add ever so briefly that we received an email from staff today detailing this in a whole lot more detail, and it really is a good explanation. The documentation that was contained in Ms. Coleman's email to us.
Okay.
Very exciting, I feel. Thank you.
No problem. So now seeing no other hands, I'll call the question. All in favor? Unanimous. Passes. 9.2 regarding the VIRL board appointments. Somebody like to move that?
Seconded.
Okay. Directors McCormick and Lennox, any discussion? Seeing none, call the question. All in favor? Unanimous. Carried. At 9.3,
Move the recommendation.
Second. Lennox, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. And 9.4. Former 8.4. Director Fall.
I just wanted to briefly mention, of course, we're all kind of disappointed by this. I think the province more or less said either we're doing it or we're not going to do it. It's kind of par for the course. And in particular, I want to just mention the one for about libraries. And, this has been an ongoing issue. We talk about it at the Vancouver Island Regional Library all the time. And in fact, this idea, in collaboration with the Cathette Library is that libraries always ask for an increase in funding. Provincial funding has remained flat, meaning not even with inflation, just flat. Like it's a 0% increase, meaning their share of the expenses goes down. Their share of the revenue for libraries has been going down over time, not even staying flat. It's really a reduction by the amount of inflation every year, which is totally unacceptable. And libraries have been, rattling about this for a long time. We all heard at UBCM, the premier came out, the resolution passed, premier came out, and he more or less said, libraries are great, love libraries, they're all supportive, but ain't getting any more money. And this is more or less what they're saying here. So the libraries working together came up with this idea of asking for this advisory body, which seemed to be an alternative approach. Have a body where libraries could talk directly with the ministry, figure out mechanisms to find wins, maybe one-off funding or ways to provide more support. And I find it very disappointing that they basically said no. Maybe they're overwhelmed, or they are overwhelmed and they're short of funding, but I think an advisory body seemed to be a very good solution for them. And I don't think it should just be dropped just because the province says no right now. I think libraries need to stick with that. I think that's the right way. It's an intermediate approach rather than just saying, give us more money, saying, let's find a solution together and have an advisory body. So just putting that out there, that I think this isn't over asking for an advisory body.
Okay, thanks. Director Gisborne, is it business arising or?
Same thing, just a quick addition to Director Fall. Completely agree with the comments made by Director Fall. And it's something that I recall a elected official at UBCM had said to me. They say, the province can say they support libraries, but any government organization, you can find your strategic plan in your budget. So the province says we support libraries, but they don't put money, they don't keep up with inflation, then I guess it's not important for them. They can say it, but unless they put it in their budget, what they're saying is it actually isn't important. So I just wanted to express my frustration at that.
Okay, so we actually don't have a motion, so we're just going to move on to consent agenda. Anybody has the opportunity to pull anything from that consent agenda? Director Gisborne?
Yeah, what was the one I said? 10.9, sorry.
All right, minus item 10.9, would somebody like to move the consent agenda? Director Southcott and all in favor? None opposed, motion carries. So item 10.9, which is that pulled out then? Is 11.1 then? Yeah.
I'll move it to get it in front of everyone.
Okay, it's been moved by Gisborne, seconded by Director Fall. Discussion, Director Gisborne.
Yeah, there's also 12.2, which is coming up later, which is also in relation to the Myrtle Pond water system. There was a number of motions at the committee of the whole level that were also referred to the next committee of the whole level for when we get the report on the Myrtle Pond water system. And while I completely support the intent of the motion, I'm the one that put it on the agenda. I believe we need to reduce the minimum cost charge, but I also am very cognizant that if we ask for a report and we need to hire a consultant, or we need to, spend a bunch of money to change the cost recovery bylaw, that's only coming out of the 84 parcels that are in the Myrtle Pond water system. And that's where I'm a little torn. Is this juice going to be worth the squeeze? Or are we going to have to, spend a bunch of money and dedicate a lot of staff time, and in the end, we're just going to have to increase, the fees for the Myrtle Pond water residents to pay for the paperwork that we're working on here.
think we're getting a little ahead of the motion we have in front of us is just to provide a report. So I think when the report comes, then we can be able to we can analyze it, see what the recommendations are and move on from there.
Yeah, so I guess my question, and I guess to the chair, to the staff is, if this motion passes, will it be overly onerous on our staff to get this information before us, or is it going to come with significant cost?
I'm guessing Mr. Devereaux is probably the one to go through.
Yeah, through the chair. No, I don't think it's too onerous, Chair. We've been working on these issues with Myrtle Pond all year. A lot of the footwork's already been done.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments?
Oh, sorry.
Corporate officer?
I think this one is just a preliminary for the all of that deep work.
Okay.
Seeing no other hands, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carries unanimously.
Do we actually move it though, or do we just?
Yeah. 12.1, our local water system. Please.
I would like to refer this one to the committee of the whole.
Corporate officer,
If I could just
please.
maybe, we have a report that's coming forward that addresses it, so like if it failed or if it
Was postponed.
yeah, it would almost make it seem like staff was going against what was directed. It might be better to not consider it because we are bringing a report forward in 2 weeks, I believe.
So to just not consider this at all.
The work is going to be done, so.
That was my exact concern, because I'm looking at this and I go, if we pass this motion to say, hey, staff, go and take care of this, and there's a report coming, it's kind of like, well, then why do we even need to see the report? We've already given you the direction. And I'm like, that's not a great way forward. So that's where I'm kind of looking at this going, and I think that might be the best way, is to just not move it or postpone it, or I don't want to deal with this motion. I don't like it.
So I'm gonna put it out there, you know, how would we like to do with this, but there's already been some discussion that it would be best if we didn't move it. So Director Elliott, or
I think that not moving it is the best way, even to refer it or do something with it. We're likely going to want to formulate a new motion based on what we know from the report. So, and if this ends up being the motion, we can still move it at that time. So.
Director McCormick?
Yeah, I was just going to move that we postpone it until the staff.
We don't have to do anything.
Don't have to do anything. Okay,
Let's just.
that's fine.
All right, we'll just move on to bylaws. 14.1, Director's Remuneration Expenses Amendment Bylaw number 558.10. Would somebody like to? Yeah, Director Elliott?
I move that the board give first and second reading of Director's Remuneration and Expense Amendment Bylaw number 558.10, 2025.
Seconded by Director Gisborne. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carries. Director Elliott?
I move that the board give third reading of Director's Remuneration and Expenses Amendment Bylaw number 558.10, 2025.
Seconded by Director Gisborne. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carries.
I move that the board adopt Director's Remuneration and Expense Amendment Bylaw number 558.10, 2025.
Seconded by Director Gisborne. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carries. Thank you very much. No new business. Question period. Mr. Galinsky.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations on your reelection.
Thank you.
With regard to the vice chair's election, I heard the vote was 4-3, but I didn't hear who the successful candidate was.
Director McCormick.
I thank you very much, Chair, and congratulations to Director McCormick as well. That was my question.
Okay, thanks. We have an in-camera session. We don't need to
Chair?
read it. Yes.
Sorry, I just may have totally missed it, but our watershed security fund, is that?
Oh, right.
Just checking.
10.12.
Oh, that was part of your-
Added to the consent.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Just checking.
Okay, so we don't need to read out the proposed closed agenda. So would somebody like to move it? Director Gisborne moves
Move
it.
91A, C and N.
Seconded.
And I had Director Fall already seconding it, but any discussion? None, all in favor? Carries. We're going in camera.
Efficient. Everybody gets an A+.
I've never seen it change.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we are back from the in-camera session. We have an item to rise and report on. The board has reappointed Rick Shanaman and Peter Chelberg to the Savory Island Marine Advisory Committee for a term of 2 years ending December 31st, 2027. With that, we have reached the end of our agenda, so this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, Andrew.
And everyone,
Yeah.
safe travels home.
Weeks.
Record.